So I ran across this video. This woman's 43 and gave up the cheeks. Okay. He's 27, grown woman shamelessly brags about 304 life. Okay, this creator is from the coffee pod. I looked the video, don't know the guy, not saying I know these people, I'm just reacting to content. But this is the result of pinning your value as a woman strictly on your looks. Okay, but welcome back. On this channel we discuss difficult conversation, tough talks, things that people aren't really talking about from a truth, aka biblical perspective, stuff that people aren't really willing to say that should be said. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and play the video. You can, let me know what you think. I might pause and play the video just to see what's going on, but let's go.
You about to tear this thing out the frame. Out the frame, you hear me?
So we have a woman.
Whoa, and now this is fair use. I sped up the video.
Woman here who's 43 years old, and she wants you to know that she's heading to see her young man. She says he's 27. You can see it right there in the caption. And she says he's about to tear this thing out the frame. Age gap dating. Now, I know some of you think I'm going with this. I'm really not going to harp on this point too long, but things that men can't get away with saying, this falls exactly into that category. When I say things men can't get away with saying, what I mean is they can't get away with saying this and have a bunch of comments of people praising them, being like, yes, you go, girl. Yes, 40-year-old smashing 27-year-old young man. It happens all the time. But let's keep it real. If you're a man who got online and said, on my way to go smash my 27-year-old or 25-year-old or 24-year-old, I mean, the amount of creep comments you would get in the comment section down below would be ridiculous. But instead, we have women here who are celebrating this. And I'm not going to harp on this too long again. I'm just saying, are we not going to call her a creep too? I don't think this is creepy behavior. I'm just saying the very bold double standards are crazy. Like
yeah, it definitely is. Men can't get away with saying certain stuff. They're both two consenting adults at the end of the day. When it's like, you dealing with a kid, a youth, that's completely different. But yeah.
This comment here that says, girl, FaceTime me back. It's already the next morning. We need the update. With a bunch of chicks here talking about, of course, I'm assuming older women. Listen, I'm sorry if somebody's grandma pops up on this
somebody's
video.
grandma.
Of course, the young guys, man, the young guys, these are stories they dream of. I know that's right, friend. Yeah, we need deets on long stroking Joe.
Whoa.
Right, let's bring you back up. She wants the deets on long stroking Joe. No shame. No shame. Somebody else who says, wait, let me know if you want your own 27-year-old. This simp got 0 likes. Tiffany here added, talking about in it. Somebody else who says, so when you were 20, he was 3? Oh, that's an uncomfortable question to ask. And a woman responded back and says, and what's the problem?
Exactly.
Yeah,
they have the same energy for men then, y'all. Like, have the same energy for men. Like it's just absolutely wild.
Than men. She's over here like 3 and 20. What's wrong with that? And this woman says, if you don't see the problem with the surprised emoji, shoe addiction mom says, nope, no ma'am. It's acceptable for men, but when we do it, I mean, in all honesty, these are 2 adults at the end of the day. They're making their own decisions. Not the type of life I would want a respectable woman that I personally know in her 40s or anybody in my family to be living, announcing to the internet that she's getting her cheeks clapped. That's just not, it's just not.
It's just something you keep to yourself. Like, why does this have to be put on the internet? Why? Because it's a form of validation. It's a form of, like I said, if you are a woman that values your beauty over everything else, you're investing into a stock that is eventually, like, it's going down slowly, especially if you melanated. And just another thing to note with that analogy about the stock, okay, you can gain riches from a market crash, aka wisdom, even though wisdom is greater than riches and gold. But just follow me. If you can age and gain wisdom, then you're succeeding. Okay, but a lot of these women are going to be salty because they're going to age and then gain nothing from it. The Bible lets us know hourly gray hair is a great sign. It's an honor if you gain that wisdom in the process. But a lot of these women are not going to experience that. A lot of these women are just going to end up bitter and salty because they doing it wrong. But that's just tragic. But eventually you're not going to look as good as you used to look. It's called aging. And what ages you faster? Sin. But let's continue.
Not what I want for the people in my life, but for other people, they're not breaking the law. It is what it is. This is the life they've chosen. Somebody else who says she wasn't dating him when she was 20, so why is this relevant? LOL. He's a grown man, almost 30. All right, so we did find some comments here of people calling out. Somebody else who says, if a man posted this, the comments would be very different. Hold on. Guys, I might be corrected. They are actually calling out what I thought. And so this lady responds. So this is an older chick. She's arguing with the young girl who said, if a man posted this, the comments would be different. She sees it. If a grown man posts a video saying, hey, I'm on my way to go smash the Mario coins from a young girl, of course the comments would be crazy. Here we have the old lady who responded. She says, talk to the YNs in your age group and tell them to stay away from us, because they just can't resist it, right? They can't resist that young experience. With the shoulder shrug, they approach.
Reading comments. Talk to the YNs in your age group and tell them to stay away from us. They approach us. Okay, I see y'all mad at Keisha Cole, Bernice Bro, Drea and Andrea, but those men refuse to mind their young business. What are you talking? Girl, bye. That's just another way for women to basically say they still got it because they're older. Good for you. Okay. Nobody's saying that. Black women, it arguably, and that you could say whatever, are the most beautiful women on earth, okay, in this dome that we in. So we like we know, okay, well, right now they on some self-hate stuff again, but it is what it is. I know, all right, I know the truth. I know how God made me. You need to know how God made you, like. But with that being said, we know that we look great. Okay, we age, literally we age slower. Our melanin allows for that. Our melanin loves the sunlight. Okay, it does not fight the sunlight. It absorbs it and turns it into energy. Okay, so it does not sizzle under the sunlight. Okay, it uses that and it produces energy. Okay, but these women, like, they approach y'all, say no, then say no. You know you could say no, right? Because if they forcibly putting themselves on you, that's one thing. But you want the YNs too. They're always gonna want the bad boy. It's y'all thirsty behind older women seeking validation because you didn't hold it down with somebody when you were in your prime. So now you're clinging on to some type of hope that somebody is going to give you some type of validation, some type of love. Maybe some type of love is going to come from it. I ran into a woman like this. She was in her 40s, Black woman, beautiful, right? Beautiful Black woman, right? Dealing with a 27, 28-year-old who was playing her, and she knew, and then she at the same time was dating an older white man. I think he was in his 50s or 60s. Said she wasn't, sexually attracted to him, but was using him for his money. Okay, and then he started getting a little crazy. Okay, but they know how to say no. You've been in the game for too long to not know how to say no. You want it.
Us, she says. I see y'all was mad at Keisha Cole, Bernice Burgos, and Drea, but those men refuse to mind their young business. We got to visit her profile real quick. She's going off. No picture. That's a good move. That's a good decision. Somebody else who says you're too grown not to be able to tell them little boys they too young for you. Oh, there's a battle happening.
Usually the cowards, and then she don't put her picture up. Wonder what that says too.
Putting down here, which I did not expect. Another person here says it's not okay when men do it, and it ain't okay when women do it too. Literally a predator. And they're calling her a predator and stuff. Now, what do I think? I think that young man is making his own decisions. If he decided to smash someone his age and got her
pregnant. Same. They're two consensual adults. Okay, I can't be mad at it. I'm not. Like, it is what it is. Do you? Okay. At the end of the day, y'all gonna do you regardless. But if it's two people that's grown, that's what it is. Now, when it's a situation where people are married and it gets messy and then someone gets hurt or unalived, that's when it's like, I can't really feel bad, because it's like, it is what it is.
Pregnant, that would be his fault, right? I knew at 27 years old what I should be dating, who I shouldn't be, or what I should be going after. The amount of sexual discipline I needed for my own personal values and expectations. I knew that. He's not some type of victim. Somebody else here says, this is a woman. She says, mind you, this is somebody's mama. Speaking of someone's mama, this lady here says, don't sleep on them YNs. Some of them ready.
Ew.
What? Ready for what? I'm terrified. Oh.
Hey, y'all.
And it's really disgraceful because a lot of y'all older women, like, I get it. Well, no, I don't. I'm not your age, but as far as, like, I'm 31, okay? Nah, I still don't get it. And a lot of older women, they're going through this phase of where they're no longer how they used to look and whatever the case is. Like, not saying that you're not beautiful, not saying that you're not whatever, but you looked a certain type of way 20, 10, whatever years ago, right? When these young YNs, they calling them whatever, are checking you out, they do not care about you. Okay. They just looking, these new youth that's being this new generation, they are straight up demons. Most of them, well, I'm not gonna say most, but a lot of them are Satan's youth, Satan's spawn. Okay. And in all reality, no jokes aside, they're literally raised in their sin, in their parents' sin, in lust, and they just want to screw something. That's it. And that's just getting that type of validation from them isn't nothing to really glorify. I've known of what back in the day, one of those YNs or whatever the case is, they will bust down just about anything. Okay. I have seen it. Okay. They will bust down just about anything. It is not something of value for them to be interested in you. You only had to have probably one thing that's popping about you, maybe. Like you have a big butt, whatever case is, you get away with it's they and the way that they talk about I've worked around a lot of men in my day. The way that they say men are dogs or whatever, yes. Okay, I just gotta say, not all men. If this isn't you, the shoe don't fit, don't wear it. All right, but and it goes for women too that be thinking about nasty thoughts or whatever the case is. We're human, but when men be talking about some of y'all, like as far as, oh, I was just basically needed to a squirrel chasing a nut, just needed something to let it out often. I needed a dumpster to let it off in. You're effectively a glorified dumpster. Okay. If they're not claiming you, oh, let's keep it on the low. Oh, let's da 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 da. They're not claiming you. They're not claiming you. They're with multiple other women. Okay. They do not care about you. Okay. Seek the Most High. He really genuinely actually cares about you. Create that relationship with Jesus Christ, who is literally daily, 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 daily on your behalf, begging asking our Father, like, yes, they're in their sin, this and a third, giving us some type of chance on your behalf, like trying to say, yo, no, please, her soul, let over your soul. There's a battle over your soul. Y'all know that, right? This physical skin, this body that we're in, it is on its way to maggot food. The thing that's eternal about us is our soul. God obviously can bring us back into new bodies, but we need to focus on what's important. Okay? This is a simulation. This is a test. Jesus is literally fighting on your behalf to give you another chance. Every day that you wake up and you get air in your lungs, that is not guaranteed. That is not something that is guaranteed. Jesus is your true friend. God is literally looking down on you, watching everything. The angel that is watching you is documenting everything that you are saying. Is this what you want to be known for when the time comes, when Jesus come back and it's not going to be so friendly? Is this what you want to be on your rap sheet, to have to talk about when it comes to meet your maker? And these are our elders, y'all. These are the women who are supposed to be teaching us X, Y, and Z about men, but instead it's just producing more single moms. They're too worried about holding on to their youth, having that validation and attention that they used to get, or still getting whatever, but that's what they worried about. That's what they focus on, is selfishness. And it's letting a lot of the youth, the newer generation, not know how to deal with men, not know how to handle men, not know how to handle themselves spiritually, mentally, hygienically, all of that.
Back again, still by my damn self, period. But nevertheless, y'all, my town is flooding. Everybody is in.
Guys, people want to look at me and be like, "Geez, what? This is just not right." I did not get on this. This is the problem with getting online and making these type of videos and comments. Right? You got to think long and hard. Somebody else who says this is scary. I wouldn't dare mess with no one my son's age. Sad world, sister. And this person says, you're missing. Good thing. Life is too short to be abiding by imaginary rules. Girl, get your groove on.
So life is too short because these people are banking on that this is the only life that this the lie. One of the biggest lies told is this YOLO. Like that whole trend, YOLO and all that stuff. This is not the only life we live. It's either you gonna be spending eternity in pain and suffering in the lake of fire, or you gonna be spending it living it up, living with Jesus, being able to like talk with Jesus, being able to talk with God about things and really have a beautiful life, the things that he has prepared for us. People, y'all, you're not missing anything out here in these YN streets. You're not missing anything out here in the slums. You're not missing anything by getting your back blown out for a few minutes. You're not missing anything because they're just seeking their own pleasure. Like you seeking your own pleasure or whatever the case is, but it's short-lived for something that could be for an eternity of true happiness and true bliss. But what can you say?
Here this lady says. So it's the older 304s against the 304s that are sort of embarrassed. I'll say this. The thing that I honestly really look at, and I'm just like, man, now that's too much, is being in, like, if, like, I'm sure nobody would be okay if this was your actual mom, right? Getting online, talking like this. Most men wouldn't want this. There's a level of class here that's.
Women too. I would not, God forbid, like it, I can at least, I'm grateful for that. This wasn't something that I had to endure. Okay, is y'all parents, that the ones that I feel sorry for is y'all parents out there that are acting a fool online. If you're doing it in secret, fine. It's not to say it's still good. You're still bringing forth unhappiness to your life, but at least the world don't know about it, because that's very embarrassing. It's very, very embarrassing. People are embarrassed to know. When I guarantee you, once the lady, she 43 now, once she hit that 53, 63 piece, that man is not going to be even happy or even claim her to admit that he hit a grandma at that age. Okay, he's not going to want to claim, he's not going to claim her. That's wild. It's really embarrassing. You know, a lot of people out here have done foul things. Not to say that I'm this perfect, whatever the case is. No, I've done dirt back in the day. There are a lot of people that have been slept with their girl's mom. Okay, they have slept with, or vice versa, they have slept with their man's dad. Like, we are in those type of days, and it's like you really cannot trust anybody fully, because Satan is going to use those that are closest to you. He's going to use your vices against you.
Missing. This lady says, I'm 46 and he's 26. Blessed. Listen, man, my advice to you young dudes, because if you're doing this, just don't get any of these women pregnant. Don't get any of these women pregnant. That's all I can warn you. There's no stopping this. And so she did release another video captioned, when you woke up to 1,000 more followers from posting your cougar stories.
You be watching my little page. I thought you was having so much motion that you wasn't worried about little old me.
All right. And then she responded to this comment where the lady says, talking about in it, and she says, I stopped being scared to live my life and I love it here. Let's check it out.
There's so much fun to be had before we make our exit from this world. And I'm gonna have all the fun. So many of us are so scared to have the fun because we're so scared of what other people are gonna think. I don't care. I don't even care about what other people think anymore. I'm gonna have the fun. I'm gonna put the bikini on, even on this body. I'm gonna put it on the short skirt. I'm gonna wear the heels. I'm gonna dye my hair. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna go on that trip. I'm gonna hunch on that man. As long as I protect myself, it's fine, right? I'm not hurting you. Have the fun. It's okay. Have a good day.
She says she's not hurting you, but you're hurting the newer generations, because it was you that you're supposed to be a part of the elders who teach younger women, who teach the youth to how set the example. Because when you come into this world, you are in fact trying to learn the ways of this world. I think it was after Yah took us out of our ancestors out of Egypt, there was a whole society. Okay, there's a whole society of us, and God was trying to teach us the right ways to live. And there's a part where it's very, must be controversial, and people that read the Bible and or read certain parts of the Bible said that, oh, how could God do this and the third? But I understand it, because even when I read it, I was shocked, but I understood later on through God's wisdom. There was a part where if there were young generations that were not listening to their parents, they would go to the council, right? They would go to the elders, they would go to the priests, and they would seek some type of help. And that the verdict would be that this young person that's not listening, that's being stiff-necked, that's being evil, will get stoned in front of everybody. Okay, and people will say that's crazy, why would blah. 13-year-olds are 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, older people. 13-year-olds are robbing YNs. You know the things that's going around now, because that's how it is. They don't care.
Not saying that they can't find their way or that whatever the case is. Obviously, everybody has a chance for the most part, but this is what has come about from the disobedience to God, and from having these youths being born by youths and not having the proper guidance.
There's a lot of y'all out here too that are saying, I don't care how old a is, I'll put a YN down, this, that, and the third. You know why? Because when you have the younger generation being grown up, teach a youth their ways that you want them to go, and when they're older, they will not depart from it. Lucifer knows God's words. That's why he wants to raise up the younger women, raise up the younger men. When younger women are raised up to be a 304, it breeds more of the cancer. It breeds more of the YNs, if you will, who will come up in violence, will come up with anger, will come up with mommy and daddy issues, are going to come up. And that's when they come and knock on your door and try to rob you and try to this. And then that's when you hear about these little youths being offed. And that's when you hear about older people being offed by the youth. It's because when you're breeding this up, those Satan spawn, it's a cancer to society. You hear it all the time. Oh, the youth are our future. Yes. I hate when women say that their 304 tendencies. It's because they're selfish. Their 304 tendencies is not hurting anybody. If you are doing it in private, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Go whatever. But the internet has really been a source for good and evil, and the evil is going to spread rampantly. But we just trying to put good out on the street. So you do like content like this, please like, share, subscribe. I do have a book out, Melanated and Expecting. If you are expecting just the things that God has shown me through the past decade, things that I wish I had known before having my youth, things that if I had known, I would have avoided so many consequences, but it could have been worse. God has definitely been has blessed me through and through. Another book out there, Value Your Virtue, just going over things that before you lay down with a man, it should be your husband. If you choose to lay down with somebody, if you choose to lay down with a man, more importantly, y'all, seek the Most High. Seek the Most High. We only have this amount of time. Like, we don't know how much time we have, but we are in the latter day. We are in the end times. There's going to come a point where, whether y'all believe it or not, the truth is going to be it's going to come to light, and people going to be on their knees, on their knees confessing it. I just hope that you'll be on the right side of that whole conundrum. You'll be on the side of the Most High, because those that are not with God, those that have chosen their own vanity, have chosen themselves, have chosen Satan, the same coward whose fate is deep within the depths of the lake of fire. Like, that's just it's not a good move. Okay, it's not a good move. The only thing that's going to set you free is the Most High, out of this matrix, the purpose, the plans that God has created for you, the gifts that God has given you. But with all that being said, be blessed, stay sober minded out here in these spiritual streets. Peace.